Ahoy, mateys, and welcome
Okay,
to...
that's back-to-back pirate references.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a weekly comedy history safari where my brother and I have a discussion that is very even keel and rarely involves angry screaming. I am Spencer Faust, your primary tour guide, and with me is Safari Captain Nathan Faust. Nathan!
I have a pith helmet on, and I'm wearing a lot of khaki.
Now, just a quick update. First off, on the whole quitting my job thing, it's been made apparent that we don't have sponsors, and, well, if anything, I'm actually paying to keep this podcast running, so...
No, in your defense, I kind of help, occasionally.
True, no, we split it half and half,
Yeah.
My net worth is still negative $6.
Yeah. Now, should we let the people know that I solved that crisis for you?
Oh, yes, we absolutely should. Please, explain.
Okay. It's important because I felt bad that Spencer had been going through such destitute financial times, giving up his livelihood to podcast full time, and so I went out on a hunt to try and secure us financial stability, and I did that. And I am now sitting here staring at that financial stability, which is our very own podcast mascot. His name is Cloud the Crab.
We have secured a rare vintage Cloud. He's
here. He has little
approximately
mustaches.
What, 22 years old? Is that right?
He is exact. How old are you? He's 2 months older.
22.
He's 2 months younger than that.
Okay. So he's still 21. He's still got a little bit.
He is still hard drinking. He has his bad plastic thing on his tag so that he can remain in mint condition. He has approximately, as far as we can tell, 0 typos. So I've been informed that this Cloud is worth absolutely nothing. And yet I am convinced that as the cyclical nature of things are, there will be time in the future where I will sell him for millions of dollars. So don't worry about us, guys. We're good. No need to write in with those Pontiac sponsorships. We have Cloud.
At our very first live show in 20 years, he will be sitting right there on the table. He'll be our mascot.
He's always with me.
He'll
He's
live
like
through
a familiar.
it. And if I can get my hands on one of those dolls of Emperor Norton that tourist traps were selling in San Francisco way long ago, that will be our second mascot. They'll just be on left and right side of the table.
Flanking us.
You know, Ruth Mariana Handler was an American businesswoman and inventor.
The transitions are grinding. That's like learning how to drive a stick shift levels of grindy right there.
Best known for her presidency at Mattel Incorporated and for creating the Barbie doll. Now, born in 1916, Ruth and former missile engineer Jack Ryan designed the Barbie doll during the late 50s.
Can I comment on something? I feel like we're kind of skipping the prestige here. I don't know what's going on. I feel like you said the thing, you said the girl, and there's no time for me to figure it out and scream about it. I'm uncomfortable with the way this is developing.
Oh, don't worry. That's because the meat of the story lies further beyond.
But
if we do want to pick something apart, further beyond the plastic doll, if you do want to pick something apart, former missile engineer Jack Ryan designed the original Barbie doll.
Well, have you seen her? She's very aerodynamic.
That's true. She could probably propel herself into communist airspace.
I could
well.
absolutely attach a nuclear warhead to her and then fire her into communist airspace.
So just when someone tells you that the toy game is a dumb man's game, no sir,
no sir.
The doll debuted just before 1960 as children's television started picking up steam.
Okay, now I'm concerned.
Mattel actually rushed their marketing program when they learned that Disney was launching the Mickey Mouse Club, and the toy company jammed wads of hundos into getting Barbie ads between every single commercial break.
A tradition that carries through to this day. As someone that's had to watch some children's television recently, dear Christ, are those ads annoying.
God bless America. What's interesting about Barbie, though, is its origins. The doll was inspired by a vacation in Germany when Ruth saw a Bild Lilly doll. Bild Lilly was a busy plastic doll with miniature sexy outfits, stiletto heels for feet, and as everyone likes to describe it, quote, suggestive eyebrows.
Okay, all right, Germany, I get it. You're a little bit repressed in a weird way that results in some weird bodily fluid porn on the internet. But what the fuck are suggestive eyebrows?
You know them fuck me eyes. You know how that works.
Fuck me eyes, but no one's ever said the phrase fuck me eyebrows. That's not how that works.
I mean, unless it's a pirate with a very weird kink.
Yeah, I like what you did there. That's good. That was good. That was a good pirate reference.
It was the size of what we know Barbies to be today, about half a foot to a foot tall. Now, the doll was inspired by a sultry comic strip in a German newspaper where Bild Lilly would get herself into all sorts of sexy hijinks.
Oh my god. Okay, so what you're saying is comic strips used to be more fun?
Yeah. And I need to phone a friend here because is this what Betty Boop was? I really don't know.
What you asked me like I thought. Yeah, because I was all up on the Betty Boop craze. I'm 8 years older than you. I'm not your grandfather. What the fuck? No, I don't know.
The doll was a rather expensive cash grab, obviously designed as a sexy gag gift. You know, things that people do.
You know, that sexy gag. You know, nowadays you get somebody a blow-up sheep to fuck, and back then you gave them a plastic doll with fuck me eyes. We've evolved as a persons.
Truckers would keep them on their dashboards. Couples would trade them as little gifts and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. The doll didn't have, like, genitals or anything. The legs didn't, spread open.
Good. So you're saying it wasn't
just
a proto-fleshlight.
It was a doll with plastic titties and perky eyebrows. Now, Ruth took a few notes from that doll. Perhaps the first of which being just how expensive the doll was. 12 Deutschmarks. Now, all I know is that's like $8 US now. And if I try to throw a currency conversion on top of an inflation calculator, I'm just going to get very confused. Nathan, I think I was drunk when I wrote this part.
I feel like I'm drunk now just listening to that sentence, but yes, go ahead.
Doll was expensive is my point. Moving on.
Doll expensive. Okay, moving on. Now, are we talking like $23 stuffed dog expensive?
Yes.
Or stuffed like okay.
I think we're talking more.
Oh,
I think we're talking more.
Relatively. Okay, so all right. Well, that makes sense. You know, if that's the only thing you've got to play with, then you pay a premium for the fuck me doll.
Now, the first Barbie launched in March 9th, 1959, and it was your choice of blonde or brunette, and it wore a zebra-striped swimsuit and a signature top-knot ponytail. Now, they were manufactured in Japan, each hand-outfitted by Japanese workers. Meanwhile, Ty Warner was next door, like, make the elephant darker blue!
I don't feel like these were contingent with each other, but fine.
Now, Barbie dolls were the subject of more than one round of controversy. What toy hasn't seen a little, flack from parents, right? You're a parent. You've surely raised a hissy fit about some toy.
I am a parent, and I don't know. No, toys are fantastic. I'm pretty okay with them so far.
Barbie's flack was on account of the fat sacs on her chest, to put it clinically.
Them titties.
Yeah. That, and in general, she was just designed to be unrealistically sexy, even by 1960s standards.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone understands that, like, Barbie is not a realistic portrayal of a human woman.
Sure. Now, Ruth, in response, said to these allegations that while the dolls aren't the sex objects that they're inspired by, quote, if girls were going to role play with these dolls to pretend that they're like 16 or 17, then I thought it would just be stupid to make a doll with a flat chest.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, because when you're role playing, you've got to role play what you're going to do with those titties that you get. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
No. It makes perfect sense up and down. Barbie doesn't have any aspirations or dreams in life other than to be a busty fuckable babe. So
now, in her defense, I've seen Dr. Barbie, and also she has that Malibu dream house, and I got to assume that she worked hard for that.
In 1961, Ruth's husband, Elliot, designed a male counterpart to Barbie. Now, Barbie was a spin-off of her daughter's name, Barbara, so the next line of dolls were named after her son, Ken. Not really a spin-off. You can't really do much spinning with the word Ken.
Spinning off their son, Kenneth? Maybe? Kenneth would make more sense, but no, just Ken. Okay, it's just Ken.
The Ken character, I'm speaking of the Ken doll, has held more than 40 occupations in his tenure as a doll. Which,
Jesus.
In my opinion, makes him sound unreliable and hard to tie down.
I was about to say, super flaky. He's like that Catch Me If You Can guy, like he's a con artist.
His Wikipedia page says, it just says 40 occupations under the occupation slot. My job is having 40 jobs. Mike Rowe, nice to meet you.
I mean, basically, that's kind of what he is. I mean, fine, good for him, but like, what? Why?
No, I'm happy for him. So the Ken doll is as old as both of our parents. Fun fact.
Good.
Barbie and Ken would have their highs and lows over the following decades, but none can deny the fact that in 1992, what happened at Mattel's think tank was nothing short of extraordinary. Following a survey among girls, Mattel learned that Barbie's hunky 40-job boy toy was just not cool enough for little girls.
What?
Now, Nathan, you grew up in the sweet 90s, the holy decade, people tell me.
I did.
Now, while I know you were 4 in 1992, what do you think would make Ken cooler in the 90s?
Cigarettes. Did I miss by a generation or so? Because it feels like cigarettes.
Well, in 1992, Mattel launched Earring Magic
Grunge.
Ken. Grunge Ken. He's got a Nirvana shirt. He thinks that smiling is fucking lame.
He has flannel and he has heroin. Welcome to Grunge Ken.
He was one of 6 dolls in the Magic Earring lineup, but let's talk about the new Ken.
Did we frost his tips?
Yes, he had blonde highlights.
Yes!
To update updating his traditionally brown hair, and his
Really?
outfits
I
were.
always pictured Ken as blonde.
No, he's always been brown haired. His outfits were definitely new, featuring a lavender fishnet shirt with a matching lavender vest.
Wait a minute, he's the fucking guys from the Right Said Fred video. He's just the I'm too sexy guy.
He had an earring in his left ear, and to keep up with the magical theme, a silver charm necklace.
So he's metrosexual, Ken.
Even his vest had a silver charm sewn into the lower right side of it. So cool guy, right?
I mean, I feel like he
Got the highlights. He's cool. I think he's cool.
Now here's the thing. We're saying all this in jest. Look up 1990s pop videos. That version of Ken is like 1 in every 3 extras on those videos. Like that, it was a bad time for fashion. We get it. There were Jinko jeans. It was a thing, and we had mesh tops. We acknowledged our mistakes. We've moved on as a people.
Right. So getting back to Britney Spears music video extra Ken.
Yes. Now that was late 90s. That was late 90s. This is more.
Oh, was it?
This is actually much more appropriately Aqua's Barbie girl version Ken, but that's fine.
You might also notice when I describe this Ken what everybody else noticed when it launched, which is that this Ken is obviously the gayest Ken ever released.
This is definitely a Ken that likes to explore differing aspects of his sexuality, yes.
First, it was the parents. And Mattel disagreed. Quote, he's not gay, he's just cool.
Okay, I thought they were gonna go and say, he's not gay, he's a fucking doll. But no, they wanted to defend this on a more ideological level. Okay, good.
Gay men disagreed next and bought the doll faster than you could keep it stocked. Mattel, wondering what happened, looked into the design team for Ken. They also weren't aware that Ken was gay, arguing that they just took notes on guys that they saw at local clubs and hangout spots.
Oh, it's even worse. Oh, it's just criminally unknowing. It's just guys that are showing up at gay clubs and they don't know they're at gay clubs.
Turns out on second thought, they didn't really realize they were outfit scouting at gay bars. So, remember the charm that I mentioned? The nice silver charm he wore on his neck? Well,
I do. Please tell me it's a fuck me charm. Please tell me it's a fuck me dirty daddy charm.
Well, it was actually Dan Savage in the Seattle paper, The Stranger, who made it very apparent that this was, in fact, not a charm, but a cock ring. See...
Oh, good!
Nathan,
and welcome to the podcast, Dan Savage. Haha.
See, Nathan, in a sentence I never thought I would say on this show, cock rings were all the rage in the gay community at the time. Now,
I mean, when aren't cock rings all the rage in any community?
In fact, they use them as a symbol, whether by necklace or sewn into your vest, to indicate your sexual preferences. Because, turns out, Nathan, Ken is a bottom.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, is that confirmed by Dan Savage, or are we just extrapolating here? Because it feels like we're going off on like an Oprah's rainbow bracelet kind of level of just ridiculously incorrect facts.
Oh no, that is a fact about early 90s LGBT scenes.
Okay, good, because I know nothing about it, so it could literally be true or not true. I feel like we're treading on dangerous ground right now. I'm just trying to keep us on the safe side.
The article set the fire under their feet, and Mattel immediately discontinued Ken and pulled it from stores. So this doll was and is the best-selling Ken doll ever released in its 56 years as a doll. And
well, yeah, because it's the only Ken doll with a crossover audience of the entire gay community.
On top of that, Mattel refuses to answer any press comments related to the doll whatsoever, especially if you ask them for, like, say, how much money they made off of it, or, yeah.
Or why they're still selling it in, like, every Toys R Us in San Francisco, or...
There's another story that the idea came from a panel of 5-year-old girls that Mattel's research department had worked with, and perhaps they were given options that included the outfits scouted by this R&D group. Now, while I'm not sure this one's true, it wouldn't surprise me that a 5-year-old girl didn't know when she was crossing the line from her perception of a cool 90s guy into a ridiculously gay stereotype. Now, that being said, the 90s were nowhere near as cool about LGBT stuff as we are now. And even now, we're not all that cool about it sometimes.
No, I was about to say, let's not give ourselves credit. We're still very much in the not cool, but we're trying to feel better about ourselves phase of that.
I would argue we have in fact gotten better, but that's no reason to pat ourselves on the back. Anyway, that's about all I got to say about ridiculously gay Barbies.
No. That's all you have to say about ridiculously gay Ken.
Fair.
Ridiculously gay Barbie is still on the horizon, and that will be the moment of true equality.
I want to thank Driftless Pony Club for allowing us to use their banger, their Rebuffalo on the Ark off the album Cholera. You can get it on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. You could buy it. God damn it, you could buy it.
You could buy it. You could purchase it with your money.
I would like to encourage anybody to leave a review. Really helps us out. Do that on iTunes. It's nice. You can find us on Spotify, even YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Just look up Cock and Bull Podcast. In case, your friend doesn't really understand how podcasts work, you can be like, hey, look at this. It's a YouTube video. You know this. And it's the stepping stone.
And by your friend, we do, of course, mean your parents, because this is something that you share around the family table when you're like, hey, I learned a fun fact today. Let's listen to the fun 20-minute tale of ridiculously gay Ken.
And if anything, I think we should start marketing ourselves. I'm going to remove that explicit tag, and I'm going to try and replace it with iTunes' version of, like, it's an F for family friendly. That'll be nice.
Oh, good. So basically, we'll be the Hallmark movie channel of podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the direction we should push ourselves in.
I think that's a wise market. I don't think it's been tapped at all by the Hallmark Channel. I'm sure they don't have a series of podcasts. And if we just start naming them after Christmas movies that we'll start releasing in July and stop running approximately in April, I think we're really onto something.
All right. Well, Nathan, I'm glad we could work this out, and I'm glad we know the future direction of this podcast. And everybody, I guess we'll see you next week.
We will. Also, depending on when this comes out, Spencer, you may want to cut this. Is this the one where we tell them that there will be a bonus episode this week?
Yeah, so we do have a bonus coming on Friday.
So we can, in fact, tell them, hey, keep your eyes peeled, motherfuckers. It's a coming.
Yeah, we're making it up to you. We got a bonus coming.
Now, next week.
Call my name and make a wish and take a rest, 'cause it's the best thing to leave your lips. Is that your best? I'm not